Hi, Jen. Nice to see you here. Thank you so much for staying up. I really appreciate it. All the way over in Oz. Just going to make sure my computer sound is off. There we go. So hi, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to, a rather spontaneous, not so spontaneous live chat. I have been thinking about expanding my repertoire. Well, I've done a few meditations and different things on my channel, but I really want to incorporate some of the other things that I love. And one of them is working with crystals. And so I'm going to kind of introduce all of that today. So hi, and welcome to anyone in the background that I can't see. So hello, how are you, and how are you doing in your current environment? I wish that you are, and pray that you are well and everything's going okay. So today I am going to offer a few things. So one, I'm going to introduce this series that I'm going to start on crystals. And today is more about spreading joy and love and light. And I'm going to share with you some of my, a few larger crystals and a few of the ones that just came to me last night as I was pulling this together. So I'm going to do all of that. We are going to start today with a little bit of a grounding meditation. And yeah, so I just really want you to be in the process of this. And before we start, if you would like to go and grab 2 rocks, they could be anything. I would encourage that they feel heavy, they feel connected to the earth. So preferably a darker rock, just a piece of granite, something that makes you feel really connected and solid. And just go get those and then come back so you have something to hold in your hand during the meditation. That would be great. We're going to go through the whole process that I go through when I start working with the rocks, and we're going to do a little bit of a smudge. And yeah, so just really really be in the process of playing with your crystals today. And if you have some on your table, just make sure you have them handy and you can hold on to them. And if I offer something up that resonates with you, perhaps you can kind of take that with you and infuse it and write it into your journal, or just keep it in your own energy body, which is what the crystals have. And the more I work with crystals, the more I understand how connected the crystals are to the earth and how easy it is to create that sensation of feeling grounded and belonging and feeling safe when we work with the crystals. And I just wanted to put out there, and I will mention this in every, hi Donna, nice to see you. And I'm going to mention this in every single video because I know this is an issue for a lot of people, and that is the ethics of collecting crystals and the ethics of working with crystals, because it's a very sensitive subject for a lot of people. And I will be touching on that each time we work with rocks. So for today, what I really would like you to infuse into your crystals is the sense of joy, and to really giving yourself permission to feel the joy. If you have a smudge stick handy, if you have some Palo Santo, or you have a singing bowl. And I'm just going to go through these one by one, what I do. So the crystals that I'm going to use for my grounding meditation this morning are these 2 pieces of septarian. And I absolutely love these pieces. They feel really kind of mysterious. Some people call this dinosaur egg, and it has that sensation of being almost prehistoric. And I love that. I love that feeling. It just kind of makes me, I don't know, like I feel the wisdom of the soul, of the pulse of the earth. And so I really, really like working with septarian. So if you don't like to work with smoke and smudging, one of the things I do sometimes, so I take a singing bowl and I place the crystals into the singing bowl. And so not only am I getting the vibration of the singing bowl And I know the sound is weird, so I'm not going to do the singing bowl here, but this is a lovely way to kind of tune into your meditation and to tune into the vibration of the crystals. And I find that after the crystals have had a good smudge with the energy from the singing bowl, it's like this beautiful, I don't know, connection, because the energy of sound is connected to the ether. And so we have this deep connection of spirit to the connection of the earth. So yeah. So hi to everyone that is tuning in. And I can see the chat. It's working fine for me today. Jen is using Mookaite, which I know is a beautiful rock that's from Australia. And I have a couple small pieces myself. Yeah, and so if any of you want to share what you're holding in your hands for the grounding meditation, either now or later, that would be great. So I invite you, if you've smudged your crystals, hold them into your hands, place your hands on your lap, and get into a comfortable position. Oh, one more thing I just wanted to say, because I have these here. So, and this is kind of along the line of the ethics of working with crystals. So we have this opportunity, at least where I live, to pick up these gorgeous pieces of granite, either in the mountains or down at the beach. This is another, oh my God, this is so beautiful. Look at this. And so these are just beach rocks. And, you know, my point here is that we can have these beautiful energetic pieces and we don't have to spend a penny, right? We just need to get to the mountains or to the beach. And I have bowls and bowls of beautiful rocks around my house. And this is something that I picked up when I was doing my shamanic training, was to feel the energy, to feel the pulse of Mother Earth connected deeply to her heart through the connection. So in the shamanic practice, you build a mesa. So you build this energetic body of rocks. And so my mesa pretty much extends around my whole house. Anyway, let's get to the meditation. And I'm going to go back. I'm going to hold my septarian. So again, I invite you to close your eyes. Take some deep breaths. And if your legs are crossed, please uncross your legs. If you're sitting in a chair, if you're seated on the floor or on your sofa, really allow the ankles and the feet beneath you to soften. So take a moment to adjust and allow all the little nooks and crannies of your physical body to kind of melt into place. And if you need to take a moment and go grab a cushion or something to tuck under a knee so that you can sit for a moment, the most important thing is that the physical body feels supremely comfortable. Perhaps you need to support an arm, or you need something under the back of your neck. So if you're watching this in the playback, then take time to go and get whatever you need to feel supremely comfortable. And then feel your rocks in your palms. And gently close your hands around the rocks. And connect to breath. Specifically focusing on the exhale breath. This is a meditation of connection, of safety. And so by connecting to the exhale breath and focusing on the exhale breath, we have that opportunity to truly let go and to create the sensation of heaviness, of weightedness in the physical body. And so with each exhale breath, soften even more. Soften the skin. Check in with your jaw. Slightly part your teeth and allow the jaw to be soft. Now bring awareness to your hips. We're going to focus on the lower body just for a moment. Check in with the right hip, the left hip, both hips. And then move down the legs, knees, lower legs and ankles. Remember to continue to adjust so you feel comfortable. Feel your feet. Feel the instep of the foot, the sole of the foot, the heels, the toes. Big breath in, big breath out. The whole lower body deeply connected. Create the sensation of heaviness, weightedness. And return to the rocks in your hands. And just acknowledge their presence, their connection to your energy body, to your physical body. And allow them to feel a little heavier in your hands. Feel their pulse. Feel the connection of their pulse, connected to the heartbeat of Mother Earth. And allow their restoring, supportive energy to nourish you. And really lean into that sensation of trust. Mother Earth, the divine feminine energy, is always here to hold us, to comfort us. And so let your physical body lean into her. Feel supported by her. Soften even more. And as an extension of all the nourishing relationships in your life, she is always there. Allow yourself to be held. Completely held, supported, and nourished in her arms. Feel the love in your hands. Feel her joy in your hands. She wants you to be happy. She wants you to feel supported. Know in the soul, in the deep core of your being, that she's always there for you. All it takes is one breath. And begin to expand your breath and become aware of the inhale. And feel the inspiration of the inhale. Allow the inspiration to fill you up. And contemplate for a moment that word, inspire. What would you like to inspire at this particular moment, right here, right now? With your inhale breath, invite that in. And then lean right back into the safety and the softness of the exhale breath. And just float gently between your inspiration and the safety and the softness of the exhale. And then begin to expand your awareness beyond your physical body, beyond your skin, into your energy field. Feel the connection of the rocks in your hands, Mother Earth below, all that is unseen around you. And notice how their pulse is the same. It's all one. There is no disconnection. And just for a moment, be in that experience. And if you wish to stay in this place, please know that you're more than welcome to stay here. It might be good for you just to kind of float in this space. But if you're ready to come back, begin to deepen your breath and feel your hands. And as you inhale, open your fingers. You may need to turn your palms up, open your fingers and expand your fingers and hands. And as you exhale, curl your fingers around your rocks. You might like to do the same with your toes, just beginning to awaken the physical body, moving your fingers, your toes. Deepen your breath. And place your rocks beside you or on your lap and turn your hands over, just touching your physical body, bringing yourself back. You may wish to place your hands on your shoulders, gently patting or touching your body. You can also rub your hands together. They might be quite sweaty if you're holding the rocks for so long. And then cup your hands over your eyes and feel the energy, feel the heat in your hands. Do that one more time. And then just touch your body, pat your legs, pat your shoulders, and gently come back. Welcome back. Hi, and so I hope that was just what you needed. Grounding is the foundation of wellness. It is the foundation of being healthy. It is the foundation of being safe. And we need not spend that much time. It can just happen in a couple of breaths. And all we need to do is just pause and to focus on the exhale. And we carry a lot of tension here. So just softening the jaw and softening the skin. Yeah. So I am going to do a whole video on grounding rocks. But today I'm going to share with you some of the pieces that just really, really make me happy. And this, I don't know where, I don't have a plan. And I'm going to just kind of share with you what is on the table here. So yeah, so you can see, I might as well start with this gorgeous piece here. I have a favorite rock store in Vancouver, British Columbia called Amethyst Creations. And I want to do a shout out to this shop. This is not one of those pretty crystal shops. It's a tiny little hole in the wall. And I mean, no disrespect to the owners and the people that work there. It is, that's a compliment to me. It's one of those shops where it's just a lot of chaos. And you really need to know, either you go in with the mind of a child into the rock store, or you need to know what you're looking for, because there is so much stuff in this store. And maybe I'll post a photo of it later in my community page, because every time I go in there, I kind of just want to find a little corner, a dusty corner, mind you, and just sit down and be in that shop. It's on 4th Avenue. It's called Amethyst Creations in Vancouver. They don't have a website. I think they have a Facebook page, but it's just this beautiful shop. So anyway, this is the largest piece that I've ever purchased there. And I'll hold it up for you again. This beautiful piece of rose quartz, which is really heavy. I should have weighed it for you before I didn't have a scale in my house that would weigh this. I just have a food scale. It is, for me, this is the heart of the house. And when I purchased it, that was the intention. I was looking for a physical heart to place in the home. And it has moved a couple of times, but now it stays in the kind of the physical, as close to the physical center of the house as possible. And when I go around, usually once a week, I go around the house and I smudge all of the crystals in the house and I remind them what their role is. I really love to interact with my crystals. And so when she's very heavy. When I smudge her, I ask the energy of this beautiful rose quartz to protect and to nourish and to nurture and to comfort all of those who enter my home. And I just feel her. I wanted something really big, you know, I wanted something significantly solid that anybody who enters my home is going to see and feel this, you know, this connection of beauty and beauty and comfort, really. So yeah, so this is the heart of my house. And I mentioned that it has moved. She has moved a few times. And if you're aware either of the energy of feng shui, or there's also an Indian system, which I might talk about actually in another video. Different corners of the house, different directions of the house carry different energy. And depending on the system that you follow, you can place the heart of the mother in different corners. And so that's why she's moved at different times. But I feel most comfortable with her in the center of the house, the physical center of the house. So yeah, so I'm just gonna do that. Ugh. Yeah. So beautiful. And I don't pick this rock up very often. Usually, so when I do my moonlight or sunlight smudging, only once or twice a year does this piece go outside. I just don't feel comfortable hauling it around. Next thing I want to share with you is my bracelets, my jewelry. And I have a couple of things. So on the windowsill in my bedroom, I have this piece of selenite and this piece, which you saw in the thumbnail. This piece I also purchased at Amethyst. Oh, it's got loose polished crystals. Sorry for the bumping video. I've got heavy things on my table. So this piece has these 2 points that stick up, and it's got a bunch of little nooks and crannies in it. And it sits on the windowsill in my bedroom. And what I do with this piece is when I take off my jewelry at the end of the day, so I take off my crystal mala, or like when I take off the shungite pendant, and I always wear this shungite pendant when I'm working, and especially if I'm working with electronics. And then it just sits. I'm not going to take it off right now. It just sits here to cleanse and to purify. And so I do that. I just kind of wrap my, if I'm wearing a pendant, it just sits on here, or if I'm wearing rings, which I don't usually wear these days, and other pieces of jewelry, they sit on here to cleanse. And then this piece is always either in the sun or in the moonlight. I mean, I do live in a rainy place, so it's not always sunny or rainy, but it's always getting cleansed in the window. And then this piece of selenite is the perfect shape for cleansing my bracelets. So I take off my bracelets, and so they just sit in the sun or the moonlight or the window on here on this gorgeous piece of selenite, and that's how I clear them. Yeah. So there's something, and I know a lot of people believe that you don't need to clear quartz. You don't need to clear shungite or shungite. I know a lot of people pronounce all of these different rocks with in different ways. But I think that with the amount of electromagnetic radiation that we deal with, that we're bombarded with on a daily basis through our Wi-Fi, through appliances in the house, through just the energy in the ground. A lot of people live where there's kind of weird stuff going on the ground, or there's septic fields. I think it's important personally to clear and cleanse your rocks on a regular basis. So that's what I do. That's what I do. And usually, you know, when I pick up my bracelets, I have an intention. And carnelian, by the way, it's a lovely, I should get my pot. So I have a bowl of, I'll get it for you. Where is it? I don't know where it is. It's gone. I'll show it to you another time. So I have a crystal bowl of small polished tumbled stones. And in the center of that, I have a large chunk of carnelian. And what I have learned is that just by placing the carnelian amongst the other crystals, it has this neutralizing effect and this balancing effect of energy. So yeah, I don't like to wear bracelets up to my elbow. It's just a comfort thing. And if I'm working and shuffling cards, you probably noticed I don't wear stuff on my right hand. And the thing about the fingers and wearing rings, I feel a lot of energy in my hands all the time. And when I wear rings, it almost feels as if the energy isn't flowing clearly. It isn't flowing freely. And I also am very sensitive to the energy in my hands. And when I wear rings, there's this sense of disconnection. And so because I work with it all the time, I usually only wear them if I'm going out, like I wear them as jewelry, for adornment. I love that word. Yeah, that's what the Indian women call it. Yeah, I think one of the, in the Mahabharata, and a few other books as well too, there's 16 different ways, 16 different kinds of adornment. That would be a fun topic for a video. So let me just have a look at the chat, and then I will go on and share with you the next thing. Say hello to anybody I haven't said hello to. Anne uses black tourmaline for protection and protection with working on her laptop. Yeah. It's nice because a lot of the crystal and a lot of creative people now too are putting out actually protectors, and they come with a little sticker on them too, and you can stick it on. I've heard that cubes are really, really good for putting around your computer and your microwave and stuff like that. So yeah, I was talking about pieces from the earth. This one I just took off my altar. This is the strangest thing. So you've heard me say I go down to the beach quite often. And the thing about this piece for me is the connection of the yin and the yang. So the shell is completely attached to the rock. And it's like they're married. It's really cool. And just the shape, the way they're actually sitting together. So this piece kind of stays on my altar all the time. I've been collecting grounding rocks for a while, and this piece of Kambaba jasper, to me, it reminds me a little bit of the energy of the septarian that I was showing you. So this piece, and I have been coveting Kambaba jasper for a while, and I had a hard time finding a piece, and I actually purchased this one off from somebody's Etsy shop, and I've never bought a crystal on Etsy before. But it's not that, it's let's see. Well, you can see in my hand how big it is. It's not huge, but it's a really lovely piece to hold on to. And I just feel, it almost looks like the earth. And it also feels like it's come from deep, deep within the earth, just with the way the different elements, the different, the different elements, the different minerals are laid within it. I am in the series, I'm going to share with you my favorite pages. So my favorite resources for working with crystals. So the favorite web pages, as well as my collection of crystal books and things like that too. So we'll have a good look at that on a face down video soon. This baby is the center of my altar. And when I saw this, so this piece also came from Amethyst Creations. It is just absolutely magnificent. And when this is in the light, in the sun, getting its dosage of sun, it's like this magnet for, I don't know, magnet for God. It's really incredible. And so clear quartz is an amplifier, and it is also there for purification. And I feel like in the center of an altar, having a piece that connects every single other piece in the altar. So in my main altar, there is definitely a section that is connected to the divine masculine, and another part that's connected to the divine feminine. There's a lot of stuff going on my altar now because it's been shared by two of my daughters who are here as well now. And so I just feel that this is the rock. This is the rock of the altar. So yeah, huge piece of clear quartz. And it has some really interesting things on the inside of it too. So that might be a little bit of carnelian there. And then over on this side, there's this yellow, I don't know if you can see it. There's a yellow, there's a piece of yellow in there too. So yeah, that is the center of the altar. Okay, where do we go? When I, this is a SHOUTOUT, SHATTUKITE, I think, SHOUTOUT. So SHOUTOUT is supposedly really good for psychics. And this is another piece that took me a while to find. And this is one I sit with when I'm connecting to higher vibration. And I really want to bring in my guides. And the thing I like about this piece is it's the raw. Hi, Sherry Bug. It's got the raw underneath, and then it's got this bit of this polished bit over here. It's absolutely, it feels, that's what I really like that, you know, when you can hold a piece that's partly raw and partly polished. There's something about the yin and the yang of that as well too. The roughness of the raw bit and the softness. And when I say that, you know, which is the yin, which is the yang, because the roughness really is Mother Earth herself, and the polished is not really the divine masculine. It's just about the balance, right? It's about the balance. So yeah, so that's my piece of SHOUTOUT. Now, this little tiny polished rock sitting right here, this came to me in a group class that I was doing. And I don't know exactly if this is what I think it is. And I've been looking for a larger piece of this for some time. This, I believe, is, so it's a little bit of azurite in a piece of granite. And if you go to, it's called K2. So apparently K2 is abundant at K2, so in the Himalayas. And I have had lots of connection, downloads, direct messages from the avatar Shiva. And so that is the reason I have been looking for a larger piece of K2. And I don't know if this is K2, but this, so we were at I was doing my hospice training not too long ago, and there was a pot of rocks, and we all got to take one to have during the training. And this one was just popping out of the bowl to me. So it may be, but I'm not sure. So, but for me, that's what it is. Yeah. Okay. You've heard me mention doing shamanic training a few times. So what this training involved was walking the medicine wheel. And during that training, this is smoky quartz. During that training, in each of the directions, you collect rocks from the earth to build a mesa. And it's spelled M-E-S-A, if you don't know what that is. And the mesa is contained in a cloth. And there's also other sacred objects in the cloth. And our shaman teacher, this was not in my mesa. It's too big. I have a smaller piece for that. One of the things, she encouraged all of us to find a piece of smoky quartz for our mesa because it is deeply connected to that shamanic energy. And to me, this smoky quartz feels like the direction of the east, the direction of the jaguar, the direction of the rainbow bridge, the direction where we really track our relationship with death, where we track our relationship with our internal warrior and our internal strength and power. And so this piece of smoky quartz, it makes me feel clear and strong. You know, it makes me feel like a rock. And it's funny how different energies of different crystals kind of empower you in a different way. But yeah, so this rock really reminds me of the east, of the energy of the jaguar and all the wild cats, and the stealthiness and the intention, right, of their path. Yeah, and so if you work with the rainbow bridge, this is a really beautiful. Hello, Rebecca. Nice to see you here. It's a really beautiful to work with in that kind of a meditation. So a couple of weeks ago, I did some shamanic videos connected to some shamanic oracle decks. And this is the kind of rock that I would use in working with that if I was connecting crystals with those particular meditations. Yeah. Emily, hello. Oh, you're putting the kids to bed. Well, I'm really glad that you could pop in for a moment. I am well. I am safe. I am surrounded by kids. 3 of my children are here. Well, they're not children, they're young adults. One of them is still a kid. Yeah, so we're well, we're gardening, we're doing all kinds of things. And so, yeah, so that is smoky quartz. All right. I have all kinds of crystal clusters and crystal points that I place strategically in different arrangements on different altars and things. And this one, I really like this one. And this one I often put at the center of, a center of a grid, especially if I'm doing a triangular grid or a 6-pointed grid, because it has the 3 points. You can see the size here in my hand. Yeah. So I feel because this one has like each of the points are clear. And I'm going to do a video, a couple of videos actually on gridding. So one video I'm going to do on gridding your house. So actually gridding your house, gridding rooms, gridding your property. And then I'm going to do another video on actually different kinds of grids. So abundance grids, grids for health and wellness and different things like that. So yeah, so that is a pretty special piece for me. This one is very new to my collection. I wish I could go to Brazil and get a really large piece for the front of the house. But amethyst is one of those rocks that will pretty much take care of everything. And I've been looking for a piece to place outside my home, actually, or right at the entrance of my home. And I haven't been able to, they're really, really expensive, those huge geodes, amethyst geodes. But this one is absolutely gorgeous, and I decided to add this one to my collection. So I want to show you the back too, because the back is really interesting. It's quite heavy, but you can see, right, the natural rock that it came out of. That almost looks like a little bit like the SHOUTOUT I showed you earlier. Yes, I heard Thunder Bay has an amethyst mine. I heard that. So maybe I'll have to go on a field trip to Ontario. Wouldn't that be fun? So yeah, so this is a larger piece. Anyway, it's really beautiful. I'm fortunate also because I can go to a wholesaler with the shop where I previously was doing readings once a week. I go with the owner of the shop to the crystal wholesaler, and so sometimes I can go there and pick up things for really good prices. But again, even wholesale, sometimes things are very expensive. So yeah, okay, so those are the big pieces that I have on my table today. I didn't want to give it all away in one video. Ugh. So, and then I said today is about joy, right? So one of the crystal shapes, the crystal shapes that you work with all have a different frequency too. So having an amethyst geode, and this one is not really a geode because it doesn't have the doesn't really have a cave, right? It's pretty flat. But working with a geode is very different than working with a sphere, as opposed to working with a heart, right? So I know a lot of people like to collect hearts, natural hearts, and crystal hearts. And I feel, this is not a natural shape by any means, but it does have an energetic connection. What I want to say, even though it's a man-made shape, it still has a consciousness to it, because this particular shape has been associated with the heart through a period of time. And so yeah, so I do have a little bit of a collection of hearts, which I will share with you. And so what I was saying is, when you have a tumbled stone, when you have a sphere, right, or you have an obelisk, right, each shape is going to have a slightly different energy, even if it's the same rock. So there's something also to the shape and how the energy moves in and moves out of the rock. And yeah, so I'm going to show you a few of my hearts. This one was in the thumbnail. This is Argentinian onyx. And this one, this one is actually really big. It's super puffy and it's so beautiful. And you can tell I like blue. I like blue crystals that remind me of the earth. And this one came from a very pretty shop. So I walked into a crystal store, you know, one of those ones that all the crystals are lit up and everything is beautifully displayed and everything's overpriced. But this was just kind of sitting there, pulsing away, wanting to come home with me. And I really, really am glad that it did. So yeah, it's really big, really big. Oh, Donna's going to Brazil in January. Wow, that's awesome. Well, yeah, so field trip to the crystal. And actually there's a near John of God, and I forget the name. There's a couple of villages where you can go. And I know other countries as well too, where you can actually go and be. There's so many crystals. They're just abundant in the earth. I would really love to go somewhere like that. This is a fluorite heart. I have a wand and broke it a few years ago. Oh, that's too bad, Ange. So yeah, I have broken crystals as well too. And I have, usually when I break them, I return them to the earth. So I either throw them into the ocean or I bury them. And what I found is when I bury, and I haven't done it since I moved here, because I haven't broken a crystal. When I lived in Whistler, so Whistler is in the mountains in British Columbia, on the coast mountains. And I buried a few crystals along some of the trails where I used to go for walks. And what I noticed, and I took pictures, and I actually noticed that the new life was more abundant where I had buried the crystals, because I actually marked it. I was really curious what would happen, what was the power of the crystal buried in an old stump or buried in the earth. And actually, so in that surrounding area where the crystal was buried, life sprung up more than other places near it. So that was really interesting to me. I have lots of rose quartz, many rose quartz hearts. This is the largest one that I have. Yeah, this one's pretty beautiful. And I have lots of little ones. I tend to give these ones away, give them to people. So I have a few smaller ones as well too. And I had a whole bunch of these. Oh my God, these are so beautiful. So these are Tiger's Eye hearts. And last time I was at Amethyst Creations, I picked up a whole bunch of them, and I've given these to a lot of people. Here, look at this one. Yeah, I really like gifting crystals to people. So I have some raw rose quartz too. And you know what I was saying earlier is that when you get a piece that's partly rough and partly polished, it just has a really, really special frequency. And I kind of get that feeling. And this one actually is chipped. This one should go back to the earth, but I love this one so much. This is ruby fuchsite. And so you can see where it's been cut. It's raw at the top, but it also has a chip down at the bottom. And so it's damaged. It's not broken, but it's damaged. But there's something about this one, it mesmerizes me. I love it. And it's flat. Yeah. I'm not quite ready to throw this one away yet. Okay, so emerald. There's a couple of emerald. This one's really dark. You probably can't see the color. Here's a slightly bigger one. So there's a lot of really beautiful qualities to emerald, and it's also something you don't see as a tumbled too often where I am. And what I'm going to do is pull out all of my, in this series that I'm going to do. So I'm going to do a whole series, and I'll do all the green rocks that I have, all the blue rocks, the yellow rocks, and we'll talk about the energy and the medicine and working with each of the colors and how the frequency of the color can amplify the medicine, the intention of the medicine you want the crystal to work with. So that, yeah, I'm definitely going to do that. Oh, this is funny. Okay, so this is not crystal, this is glass, but I want to tell you about this. So one of my friends took up glass blowing, and so she makes these glass hearts, and she donates it. Part of all the proceeds go to a mental health organization in British Columbia. And she also creates these for people for memorial hearts. So you can send her some of the ashes of a loved one, and she'll infuse them inside. And so you can have these as memories. And she also makes them as a pendant. Yeah. If anybody's interested, you can message me. And actually, you know what? I'll just put it in the description box below later. And it would be shipped from BC, Canada, from Tofino's, where she lives. Yeah. And oh, I've got a couple other ones here. Look at this one. Now, this is either a jasper or mookaite. I love this side. And mookaite is a kind of jasper, right? So the jasper family is pretty large. And we'll talk a little bit about the composition of some of these rocks too. I'm going to try to bring in a scientific component as well as an energetic component to these videos, because I think for me it's really interesting to know how some of these rocks are connected minerally speaking. So yeah, and the last part that I pulled in this basket is one, I've put this on Instagram a few times. So this black, and when I found it on the beach, it was green. It was shining green. It has this line right through the center of the heart. And I have a lot of beach rocks that I've collected in this particular shape. And this is the one that is the most perfect heart shape. I have a couple that are more what I imagine an organ of a heart looks like. But yeah, so I have a few of these two beach rocks that look like hearts. Yeah, okay. Anything else on the table here today? I don't think so. So yeah, those are the rocks I have to share. So do you have any questions? Oh, are you saying this heart is mookaite? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is too. And mookaite is one of the ones from Australia. That's where it comes from. But mookaite is in the jasper family. Feels good too. Yeah. So, do you have any questions or comments or anything that you want me to answer or respond to? If you have any requests for particular types of rocks you want to talk about, or particular shapes you don't know how to work with, and I will do, like I said, I will do a video on shapes, and I'll try to include as many different shapes as possible. I'll just read you the list here so you know what I've kind of got planned. I've got what's in a shape, abundance grid, healing grid, ethics in crystal buying. So I want to kind of touch on that every single video because I think it's important. Crystal resources, so books and websites and so forth. We're going to do a whole one on grounding and EMF pollution and psychic protection. And gridding your home, for sure. I mentioned that one already. And I think that's really important too. And you can empower your children as well too, to grid their bedrooms and to give them the tools and the resources to grid their bedrooms so they feel safe. Different crystals can go under the bed or around the bed, and that it's a really nice gift to give to your kids. So just in closing, I want to say thank you. Thank you for being here today, and as always, supporting my channel. And make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you like the video, and if you haven't already subscribed. I appreciate the subs and all the feedback and comments. I really especially love. So stay well and let me know how you're doing. Oh, and a couple of other things. So today is Saturday. Monday night. So Monday night, I am doing a relaxing, restorative yoga class on Zoom. And on Tuesday, I'm doing a Reiki healing meditation and Spirit Song Reiki. If she's still here, Donna is going to be a part of that as well too. So both of those events are on Zoom on Monday and Tuesday. And those links I will also put below in my link tree. So my link tree is also on the profile of my Instagram page. And so you can go there at any point to the profile on my Instagram and you can get all of the links for all of the stuff that I'm up to. Okay. So stay well. Nice chatting with you today. Namaste.